is there a word of inspiration that you want to give them?
My word of advice, I guess, would be on time.
Yeah.
Which Zimbabweans were not the best at.
Yeah.
We're always late.
They've lost that part of the language, and that really gets me a bit worried, especially on community. Not that I'm. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Admire Taimira, also known as Ziwa. Today I've got an amazing artist. I've got a lady, beautiful, and she looks amazing.
Oh, thanks.
And she's from Zimbabwe, and she's touring Australia right now. Please help me welcome Gemma.
Hello.
How are you, Gemma?
I'm so good, Admire. How are you doing?
That's good. That's good. How are you enjoying the tour so far?
Oh, it's been amazing.
Yeah.
Honestly, we've had the best time.
Have a good time?
Yeah, every day's been great.
Ah, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, tell me about the first show that you had in Perth. How did it go?
Yeah, Perth was awesome.
Yeah.
The crowd was incredible. I mean, Zimbabwean diaspora especially, I feel like there's such an energy and such a love for music from home.
Okay,
and so
okay.
I feel like when people come out, they come out with such vibes.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they're ready for a party. And we gave it to them, I think. Yeah, it was packed. It was packed.
I know. You were so amazing. And you're looking great as well.
Oh, thank
that
you.
That outfit was...
If nothing else, I'll wear good clothes.
Oh, really? I know that. Yeah, like today as well. Black and black.
Black on black.
I know that. Okay, beautiful. Okay, let's go back and retrace in terms of your musical journey. How did it start?
So, I grew up in Harare, a couple of blocks down from the city center, and I grew up in a very musical home. So my mom played trumpet, and my gran played piano, and so we had a lot of instruments in the house, and we're sort of always encouraged if there was something we wanted to try, that we could try it. And so I started playing piano when I was about 6.
Oh, really?
And I got hooked on music. I started singing, and I picked up trumpet and guitar and saxophone, and I just kept going whenever the opportunity came. And so then when my parents asked me what I wanted to study at uni, I said I wanted to do music.
Oh, so you actually studied music in uni?
I did. I studied commercial music composition.
Okay, and what is that? Can you
So
break
it's
down
like
for us?
writing commercial music, so writing pop music and things like that. But it also went into things like film scoring and orchestral music, which I also love.
Oh, lovely.
And I started gigging and playing in bars and restaurants when I was in high school still, just to make some pocket money.
I know.
And then from there, from uni, I started playing and eventually came here, got to this point.
I know. I'll take back a little bit. You guys are playing a lot of music in the house.
Yeah.
How did the neighbors take that? Were they okay with that?
We've got a decent garden.
Oh,
but
really?
it's so funny because my uncle actually lives next door, and then my grandpa lives next door as well. So we're all surrounded, and my uncle plays as well, and he's got a band, and they have rehearsals every Tuesday night. So there's a lot of music in that neighborhood, and everyone seems to be all right with it. Even now I do rehearsals at my house.
Oh, really?
And yeah, I'm sure people can hear everything. Hopefully they just think it's a free concert.
And they actually be in a position to hear the new songs that you're
there you
making.
go. They'll know before everyone else.
Oh, okay. That's good. That's good. Beautiful. All right. Now we've got Melbourne coming up on Friday.
I'm so excited.
Are you excited about that?
So excited. We've had so much fun. Every show has been like really high energy, really positive, and you get to connect so much with fans, I've also been going into the crowd and meeting people and getting lots of hugs and taking lots of selfies. So it's been really fun. So I can't wait to meet everyone in Melbourne. And in Brisbane.
And Brisbane is on Saturday.
Yeah. We're going to have a party.
Yeah, beautiful.
Especially Brisbane, I feel like the last one.
Yes.
We're not going to sleep.
We have to. And I think also in terms of Brisbane, there is people who really love you a lot. Yeah. Brisbane, there is a lot of response saying Gemma is coming and everything else,
That's so good.
So it's a
Brisbane, I'll see you soon.
Lovely. So, you know what? When we're in Perth, you're going around.
Yes.
Like just been talking about it right now.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you go to the hotel, then you're like, okay, let me check it out, see how things are happening out there.
Yeah.
Okay, when we get lost at Mile, I'll give you a ring. Okay? It showed me a lot of independence in there.
Yeah.
I'm like, this girl, what's happening with her?
No, I love it.
I was worried about you, that.
I promise you, I won't get lost. I won't get lost. I love traveling. I love seeing as much as I can when I go to a place. And I think often, like, you know, you've got to really take that opportunity and fill your time. And I love to travel. So if I get to do that within the shows and within work, I'll always take it.
Traveling.
Yeah.
Tell me about, you know, the intercontinental. We are in Africa, going to every other country in Africa.
Yeah.
Was it for 2 years?
Yeah. So
How did you even think about that?
I know it's wild now that I think back. But in 2018, I packed my life into a Land Rover. I had a roof tent on top and a solar fridge and my studio, all my instruments, and just started driving. Wow. And I drove Africa for 2 years. It was
2 years?
2 years.
Wow.
It was incredible. But what a lot of people don't know is that I actually, this was right before the start of like the big leap in my career.
Okay.
So it was sort of late 2018 that I left, and then February 2019. Basically, what people don't know is that so much of who they know Gemma to be, I was actually still on that journey.
Okay.
Because it was until COVID. So February 2019. When Mugarden was released, I was sitting in a little cafe in Bagamoyo, Tanzania. Really? And, you know, when Titunga Mire was released, I was in the Drakensberg Mountains. And when Garapano was released, I was in Kenya. Like, I was actually on the trip the whole time. So I would stop sometimes if I needed to come back to Zim and film something or do a show. But then I would just fly back to the car all the time, you know. So much of my musical journey was actually very much involved in the trip. And then I wrote all my music there. So all the music, Ndinewe, was written on the road, filmed on the road. My whole new EP, A Girl from Harare, was all written on the road. So yeah, it was like who I was for 2 years.
For the 2 years.
And if I could carry on, I would.
I can see that.
Yeah, I'll keep going. I'm doing my car up, so who knows?
Car wrap. That's a nice one, eh?
Yeah.
What kind of color are you having in your car?
I'm going black.
Black or black?
All black, but you know, then my car will be ready and then we can do West Africa.
Okay. Okay. So do you want to drive?
I wanted to drive all the way to Ghana. That was the dream.
How many kilometers in there?
I don't know. A long time, but also you take your time. But as I I did a lot of the East Coast and a lot of Sadc and a little bit of Central, and then did an east to west crossing from the East Coast Ocean all the way across to Namibia. And then I was literally driving up to the Angolan border when lockdown was announced and things. So then it was the panic of getting the car somewhere and then flying home, you know.
So you actually left your car in Angola, then you have to fly back home?
We left it in Namibia. Yeah, in Windhoek.
Make sure that you're locked up in the house. Back home.
And then get home. Yeah. So the ideal was to keep driving. You know, had COVID not happened, but we'll see. Who knows? Check back with me in 1 year. Maybe I'll be in Ghana by then.
You'll be in the middle of somewhere.
Yeah. I'll be in the Congo forest, like, hey, Admire.
What's happening in there? All right, let's go back before Mugarden. Was Amara Mugarden actually made a big difference in your musical career, right? Yeah. Okay, prior to that, I know you've done a couple of cover songs as well.
Yes, yeah.
Which one was the first cover that you did?
So I think I did a couple. I did a Cynthia Mare track. I did a Ja Praiser track. But the first cover that I did was actually Musaroa Bigiman by Winky D.
I know that one. That was a jam.
Yeah, so I was a massive Winky D fan in high school. I loved dancehall, and Winky D, he was the father of Zim dancehall.
Absolutely.
And so I was listening to the song. It was in my playlist, and I thought, you know, how cool would it be to tell the woman's side of the story, you know? Because can you imagine your dad's coming in and you're like begging him not to hit your boyfriend? And so I did that rendition. Yeah. I was performing at the Zim Achievers Awards in London, and they had this big white grand piano, and I was like, I want to play something on that piano. So I was like, let me try this. And so I ended up doing it, and I flew out the next morning, and someone had filmed it. And by the time I landed in Zim, that video had gone everywhere. Ooh. So I quickly, I phoned my friend and I said, come meet me at our church. And we got the piano at the church, and we just filmed the little Musaroa Bigiman.
The whole lot of it, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And fast forward, that was 2015.
That's 2015, yeah.
Fast forward to 2018, Winky D that's how I think Winky D was introduced to me. Was just through that song.
The song, yeah.
Through seeing me do that.
But did you ask him, say, I'm going to be doing your song at the Zimbabwean?
Yeah, I got someone to contact him because I didn't know him yet.
Okay.
But I got someone to contact him and just ask his permission and make sure it was all right. And he was like, yeah.
Okay, that's a cool dude, eh?
Yeah, so that's really good. Okay. But yeah, fast forward a couple of years and he phoned me up and he said, I've got this idea. And so we met up and we sat in the car and we listened and it was Mogarden. And then we went to the studio that day and made Mogarden, which then, you know, when that was released in 2019, really changed, I think, the course of my career.
Okay, but you tell me in terms of, you know, making the music, because Mogarden was actually a big bang,
yeah, it
right?
was big.
Talk to me about the moment in time when you were in the car, when you're speaking to Winky D in there, you guys listening to the project and you're talking about it, and how did that go into your mind? What was going in your mind during that moment in time? The creation part of it.
The first thing was I loved the song. Like the melody of that song is so catchy. And I loved that. But I also loved the story, you know, the story of Adam and Eve, and it's such a classic and it's such a good idea, you know.
It is.
And then fast forward to when we made the video and how much that told the story, you know. I just think, it was the song, it was the sound of it all that caught me, but then the story that really just hooked
Came with that,
me, you know, because it was deeper than just a love song. It was so much more than that.
I know. And during that video is amazing, by the way. Let me just say that. It was like, okay, it's so catchy.
Yeah.
It is so catchy. Yeah. But something very distinct in that video, you were holding this big python in there. Oh my God. That really takes me off. I mean, I get some goosebumps for that. You know that?
Yeah, it was... I didn't know that was going to happen, actually. It was on day 2 of shooting. And I asked the guys, the director, can I see the schedules just so that I know what our day is going to look like? And it was like, you know, in the bushes and singing this thing. And then it said, Gemma with snake, Gemma with snake, Gemma with snake. And I said, what is this snake thing? And they were like, oh, that's what's in that box over there. And there was this huge wooden box the size of like a coffin. It was gigantic.
Wow.
And I went, excuse me, what do you mean? And I've never held a snake before.
Oh, that's the first time?
Yeah. But I'm not going to lie. It was actually, once the snake was on me, I was fine. Like, it was fine. Sure? I asked the handler, the guy who had brought the snake, you know, does it bite? Will it bite? Has it ever bitten? Is it gonna bite? What happens if it bites? Like, I asked her just to make sure. And it was, the snake was really relaxed and she was used to humans. And her name was Eve.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The name of the snake?
The snake was Eve, and I was Eve from Adam and Eve.
Oh my God.
I know, wow. But it was, the snake was very relaxed, I was relaxed. It was all good in the end, but it's just the moment where you first have to hold a snake.
Okay.
It's a bit
and one other thing I wanted to ask you, you know what? It's, during that video as well. Winky did never touch the snake, did you? I rewinded.
He was like, no.
Oh, really?
Well, he didn't have to, I guess. So I think you don't voluntarily tend to touch a snake if you haven't really seen them a lot, you know? I think it's more like, okay, I did it because I was like, that makes sense, Adam and Eve and the snake.
Yes,
you know, I've got to wear the snake, that's fine, we'll do it.
Just to reflect
but like,
your story.
I don't think I'd run around going, let me just touch this gigantic albino python with scary eyes and fangs. You know what I mean?
But was it heavy?
Very heavy. Yeah, but she was like super relaxed, so it was kind of nice. She was kind of like, you could tell that if she was calm because she's on you. You can kind of, you know, like when someone, when someone like says, you know, and they touch you, you can feel what they mean, you know. So if she was upset, I think I would have been stressed, but she wasn't. So
Absolutely. Okay, that sounds very good. You know what? We're talking more about this Mogarden one because I know that was something that really made a difference within your career. Okay, so you tell me. So when that song came out, you were in Tanzania. Is that right? And did you have enough internet just to log on to YouTube and see how things are going?
I was sitting there refreshing that site. Oh my goodness. And then I remember I traveled for a little bit more before I came home for the first performance. And my mom just kept saying, I don't think you realize what's happening. Like, I can feel the buzz. Like, the song is like really, really buzzing, but I wasn't on the ground, you know? So when I first came back and I performed it for the first time, I walked out on stage at HICC and it was a surprise that I was coming out. And the crowd just went wild. I've never felt like that before. It was unbelievable. I didn't sleep that night. I got home and I was just like, woo! But it was amazing. And I think it's still a song that people very much associate me with, even a few years down the line.
Absolutely.
You know, Mugadan, Eve.
Yeah. I think that was amazing. Are you planning to have another duet with Wiki?
It would have to be as good as Mugadan.
I know, there's a bit of a pressure in there. I mean, pressure to yourself.
I mean, we've spoken
You've done
about
a fantastic job.
But it is pressure, isn't it? Because as an artist, you always want to do better than the last time.
Exactly.
But we've spoken about it, but there was just something so magical about Mugadan.
Yeah.
You know, that it's almost like, do you want to
spoil it?
I mean, you could, but like, and if the time comes,
you can do
but
something.
It's definitely not something we would take lightly.
I think so.
To do another version when that was everything that it was.
Yeah, I think that was big. Yeah. And you told me, like, after that, how did your life change? Like at a personal level?
I just think,
before we get to the professional part of it.
You know, when people all of a sudden just know who you are and they start really following your music, it means that you can now do the things that you really wanted to do and you've got an audience. That sort of really is engaged in like what's coming, you know? And it meant that I could do the shows that I dreamt of doing.
Yes, getting a lot of bookings and things are happening, you know, which is really, 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 really good. Hey, you got excited. But then, that time people know who you are now. Were you able just to go on the streets, just going to bar? Because I know you at levels of Fantan, you guys, you know, share kind of things in there, right?
I'm in Mbari all the time.
Are you Mbari girl?
I'm there if I'm not at chill spot doing something, I'm shopping.
Wow.
Like, no, I do. I'm very much. I mean, you've seen it though. Like I love getting out of the house and just going around. And I love meeting people. So I'll never stop.
I know. You guys are doing a fantastic job in there at Chill Spot.
Yes.
Wow.
Chill Spot's a vibe.
Isn't it? Yeah. That's so lovely. Okay. So, after I'm garden then, did you get to a point where, I've got this that I have in terms of a hit song, which is really vibing, and you thought, let me take this platform, make another song, make another EP or make another album and ride on the wave. I don't know, did you...
Yeah, well, I was releasing before Mugadan.
I
was always writing and releasing, but I think like Mugadan just was my first sort of big spike in growth. And so then, the next few songs that I released, I could feel the difference in the reception. But I've released 2 EPs, Pamwe, which was written and recorded on the road. In the car.
During the 2-year run?
During the 2-year run. And A Girl from Harare, which was also written and recorded on the road. So the first Pamwe came not too long after Mugadan, end of 2019, and then A Girl from Harare came earlier this year.
Nice.
January, February.
Okay. So 2 years right across the continent. Then after that, you did more like a tour in Zim.
Yes, so we literally
exciting.
just finished the A Girl from Harare tour in Zim. So that was April, May this year. And we did 11 shows across the country in a pink bus with my face on it. And it was amazing. We had such cool artists. Nati O came for a couple of the shows. Holy 10 came for some shows. Volts JT. DJ King Her, DJ Tamuka.
Wow.
We had an amazing lineup. It was so cool. And then basically in every single city, we would also have local artists from that city.
The locals,
Yeah, so it was a bunch of Harare artists and then a bunch of artists from Matari or from Bulawayo or from Victor. But it was incredible. Such a cool time. 11 crazy shows.
Wow. But it's kind of different because if you look at most of the artists, they just come on the show, they do what they do, and they go out. Did you also get involved yourself in terms of organizing the shows, prior and you guys are going around?
Yeah, I was very, very hands-on. I actually, the tour was a dream of mine for a few years. And so when it finally came to life, I was very much organizing and involved in it. I had an amazing team who sort of helped me out, and then a guy called Nigel who runs Bry Out and Tumba events. And he had done a couple of shows with me before, and so I brought him on board, and he was sort of on the ground as well with us. But we were a pretty big crew and we traveled around, and I wanted to create this different way of doing things, which is much more how people do stuff internationally, in terms of actually having a tour with a schedule and a map and the dates, and so that people can plan in advance. And that they know that your tour will be stopping on their city.
At this moment in time.
So it was a brain baby of mine. So it was something that I really wanted to be involved in. But it went well.
Oh, nice. So they say we're in a pink bus. Was it like as big as Kukuruakurerua or what?
It was big. I mean, it was big. It was like I think it was like a 30-seater.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we wrapped it in all the artwork from the tour. So it was very funky. I'll show you some photos.
Please, that'd be nice. Yeah. So So in terms of that tour, you have like how many people on the tour?
27 people traveling normally.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's all of our crew and the band and the sound and
and everything else.
Yeah, everyone who makes it possible. There's a big crew behind an artist. There are a lot of people who are working
It's a
very
teamwork
hard.
actually, isn't it?
Very much so.
And let me comment on this one because I've seen you work with the other guys that are here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of teamwork in there.
Yeah,
you guys
my
are working
team,
together.
We're friends.
Yeah, exactly. You're friends. You get together. You play together.
Yeah, and we all have a common goal, and we're working towards something. But we're friends.
I've seen that myself. It's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm very lucky. Very lucky.
I know. So you got a band, right?
Yes.
You got a band, right? And how big is the band?
So we're normally a 5-piece.
5-piece?
Yeah.
Okay. Which instrument do you normally play yourself?
So I'm keys.
In keys?
I'm keys. I do play guitar as well, but I've got 2 guitarists who are much better than me. So I play keys.
Okay. Yeah. I love the fact that you appreciate the other people that are doing a better job.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
We've all got strengths, I just make noises with my face.
Yeah. But I strongly believe people, when they're in a team, they're in a position to identify like this team member is good at this and they do what they're doing.
Absolutely.
As a team, you tend to achieve more in there. You know?
It makes such a big difference. And Matthew, my music director, who's here with me, and my lead guitarist, he, he's brought so much to the sound as well because I also sit with him in studio. And he'll come up with some amazing ideas.
Okay.
That will then write on, and it really enhances. If someone thinks that they can do it all by themselves, they're not going to get as far.
No, you don't get anywhere.
People bring so much more in
on the table.
And I can really feel how much I've grown through sometimes really allowing someone else to bring their ideas.
It's a big thing. Let's talk about the teamwork thing in there because you've got a situation whereby other people, when they have in their team someone who's actually a bit better than what they do in that, you talk about people playing the guitar, they get a little bit intimidated. If you seen...
I don't know why you would though, is it? Because I just... you can't do everything.
You can't.
And I think it's the same as when artists sometimes get a bit jealous or a bit protective about their, where they get competitive with other artists.
Yeah.
My music isn't for everyone. I know that. Not everyone is going to see Gemma and be like, this is exactly what I need. A lot of people will. But there's a lot of artists that I love that you might not love.
That is so true.
This idea of you're not for everyone. There's space for everyone.
Yeah, there's space for everybody.
And that goes the same way. It's this idea of understanding that you don't have to do everything.
No, you don't have to.
Just find something that you're really good at and that you're passionate about and do that and then accept the help. And allow other people to grow you.
That is so true.
I think if you don't do that, your humility probably isn't where it needs to be.
I think you're right. And this actually goes across board, not just in the music industry. I'll tell you personally, whenever I do, the work that I do, if I'm hiring anyone, I make sure that they're better than what I do. In every area, in this area, you're better than me, so you're the person for the job, and it builds you up. It gives you a bit of pressure, be like, okay, this guy's know what they're doing, and I need to be up there, which is lovely.
That's why you're successful in my...
Oh, thank you for that. Just got me off guard, eh? All right. So Gemma, right now you've got. Do you have any projects that's coming up?
So we've actually just released a track that I'm on, which is so exciting. It's Charlie K featuring myself and Casper West. So we just released solo.
I love that.
It's a couple of weeks old, like maybe 2 weeks old now, and it's doing really well. We're close to 1 million views on YouTube.
Ooh, is it almost a million now?
Yeah, it's 700 and something. But yeah, it's been doing really well. It got some awesome radio play on BBC One Extra.
Wow.
And it's been playlisted. It's doing really well. So I'm very excited about that. The video is very cool.
It's so cool. I saw that.
Yeah. And then I've got a track coming, another chill spot rhythm.
Ooh.
Just like Mai Tabasa and Titunga Mire, we're both chill spot rhythms. But this one is called Vuya Tina Mate. And it's featuring the one and only Enzo Aishal. So I'm very excited about that. And that's coming not too long now.
Wow, wow. You know what? The one that you did with Casper, I had your manager sent it to me.
Yeah.
And I was having a look and I was like, wow, this is so cool.
Yeah.
But I was trying to define, is it Afrobeats? Is it Amapiano? What genre is it?
It's definitely Afrobeat. I'd even maybe say slightly Afro-pop.
Afro-pop.
It's kind of Afro-pop.
Okay,
okay. But I mean, yeah, I'd say it's Afro-pop. But a bit of a fusion, which I kind of like. Yeah, it's not super straight in one.
A bit of reggae in there.
Yeah, it's got little hints of things.
Yeah. And because I see your music is quite diverse. It's quite diverse. How would you classify your music?
Good question.
Because I was listening to your music, I was like, okay, this Zim Downzo is there.
Yeah.
There's Afrobeat in there. Now I'm being told there's Afro-pop in there, and
I guess the thing is sometimes you wake up and you want to listen to jazz.
Yes.
And then sometimes you wake up and you want to listen to rock. Your moods change when you're listening to music, and that sort of happens a little bit when you're making music as well.
Oh, okay.
And I think a lot of it is like drawn from your influences. So I grew up listening to a lot of the Zim greats like Thomas Mapumo and Baba Chuku and Baba Shero. But I also listened to a lot of jazz, and then when I got into high school, I started getting into Zim dancehall. And so it's sort of a bit of a blend. I would maybe say it's either Afro-pop, Afro-fusion, somewhere in there, with a bit of a dancehall. Dancehall leaning.
I know.
But when I'm with the Chill Spot boys, we make like some solid dancehall. And then sometimes you'll hear a bit of the jazz and you'll hear a bit of the pop side of things come into my A Girl from Harare album was a lot more Afro-pop.
Afro-pop, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Somewhere in there.
Baba, I love it.
Thank you.
I so love it.
Maita Basa.
It's actually on my playlist and I play it all the time.
It's catchy. I really love that song.
Yeah, and during this tour, whenever you play it, I'm like in there,
I do it right near the end.
Yes, can you please get that one on? Okay, so now we've got on this tour, we've got Baba Shero in there.
Oh my goodness.
How will you work with Baba Shero during this tour? How is it going?
Honestly, I've been a huge fan of Baba Shero.
Yeah.
Honestly, you've made it somewhere when you go on tour with Baba Shero.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's a really big deal.
Wow.
So I'm a massive fan, and so I got to meet him for the first time actually on the tour, and already I feel like I've learned so much. I feel like I've got an adopted father in music, I've learned so much from him, and he's so humble, and he knows so much about the industry, and he's really taken a lot of time to talk to me about it and give me advice and listen,
Nice.
And to be able to share the stage with him is an absolute dream. I hope this will be a long musical relationship.
Talk about humility. Sometimes you don't ever take away the spotlight from yourself. You're a humble lady. You are so humble. I've been working with you for the last, is it 1 week now and a half?
Yeah.
Your humility is just there.
Oh, thank you.
People are like, oh, okay, all right. This is Gemma, by the way, guys. This is real Gemma here. Okay. That's so good. And you tell me in terms of we've got one song that we are waiting.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Are we going to be talking about the dates when it's coming out, or not just yet?
Not just yet. But I promise you'll be the first to know.
Okay.
I'll phone you, and it'll be like 3 a.m. your time because I'll be in Zim, and I'll be like, Maya, guess what? But hopefully Baba Shero and I will do something in the future.
Okay.
I can see it happening too.
That'll be nice. I can see the fusion in there.
Yeah.
And you guys have been doing a couple of things in there during the show.
Yeah, we have.
I loved it. Oh, it was so good.
Yeah, we've
all right. So far in terms of the albums, I know you guys are not doing the EPs and everything else.
Yeah.
How many albums have you done so far?
0.
Oh.
I have not released my debut album.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does that work?
So an EP is a shorter version of an album. So Pamwe was 5 tracks and A Girl from Harare was 9.
Okay.
But I'm waiting. I think the rest of the year I'm going to be doing singles. Just because we released an EP this year. So I think that needs to live and breathe for a bit longer.
Okay.
I don't want to rush into some new stuff yet.
Okay.
But when the album comes,
yes,
it will come hard.
It will come hard. Yeah. We can see that.
Yeah.
We can see the progression actually, one song after the other, coming in.
Absolutely.
which
Absolutely.
is...
I want to get to a place where I feel that I'm grown enough as an artist that when I release something that it really is going to be a really strong body of work.
It's got to be a mixture of everything there.
Yeah.
Afro-pop,
Absolutely.
Afro-beats.
It's just going to be
jazz part of it.
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay, all right. And are we planning, like, do we have, like, say in the next 2 years, in the next 3 years? Or
I think by then, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't have a date yet. I've just started recording again because the tour finished and I had about a week off before we flew out here. So I went away to Hwange National Park.
Yeah.
To an amazing camp called Iganyana. And I took Murphy Kubik, who's a really amazing producer. I took Matthew, my guitarist, and one or two other team members, and we just went away for a week into the bush, into like where I feel really comfortable, and we just wrote a lot of music. So who knows? Now, once I go back and re-listen to everything after the tour is finished, maybe the album's in there somewhere.
How does it work in terms of creativity? Then you go in that space. What kind of space that makes you very creative?
I think being outside, and seeing new things, you know, that's why I also love to see as much as possible. That's why I write music on the road, because I wake up and I'm going different places and seeing a lot and experiencing a lot. I have a lot more to write about. You know? And I just feel in a space where my head is free from admin, you know, from worrying about emails and worrying about, you know, all of that business side of it. That can just sort of rest and I can focus on being and living, you know. So I like being outdoors. I like going away on trips and writing trips when I can.
Okay, beautiful. Do you have any other writing trips that you're working on or not at the moment?
I do. I can't disclose it yet, but yes, I definitely do have something big coming up, which I'm very excited about. But I'm going to continue as well to just go back to Hwange and go back to beautiful spaces in Zim. Whenever I get a chance, you know, go right in Nyanga and take that time out, you know, because Zimbabwe is so beautiful.
It is beautiful.
It's a writer's paradise, I tell you that much.
Yeah, that is so true, yeah. All right, so now definitely we've got the 5 gigs in this hotel.
Yes.
Dubai now, you know, ending in Brisbane.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that hotel? It's a big one, isn't it?
It's been incredible. It's been incredible. We've done, it's, you know, we've done, our weekends have been hectic. You know, you play Friday, fly 6 a.m. on Saturday, play Saturday, you know, but it's been everything. It's been so much fun, and you get that downtime, and you get time to bond with Baba Shero and his crew,
the team,
and you guys at Alpha Promotions.
Thank you.
It's been amazing, and it's been done really well, handled really well. I feel very looked after, and I've had a lot of fun.
Oh, thanks a lot for that. But in terms, because obviously you, your voice is a key part in terms of. How do you handle that part? I mean, you're singing, you know, Friday night, you've got Saturday as well. How do you manage your voice? How do you
You've just got to be careful. I lost my voice after Dubai completely, because I think I'd been traveling and it had been really busy. So I played Dubai, and the next morning I was like, hello, hello. And then sort of after Sydney, it's still a little bit husky as well. But I think the few days before, you got to take it really easy. You don't stay out late, and you keep warm, and you drink warm things, and you don't drink alcohol and things like that. Because alcohol tends to mess with your voice as well. So, you know, have a glass of wine after you're finished.
After I finish the job, Okay, all right, okay, that's good. But then tell me, when you go on a tour, then you get a situation whereby your voice really just vanishes. How do you manage this kind of a situation? Like it's gone.
If it's gone.
Yeah, it's like, you know, it's not.
I've had it when it's like not far off.
Let's talk about that.
But you know, a lot of like you just don't talk.
You don't talk,
And like a lot of hot water and lemon and honey and steaming and resting, and you just do not like just try and avoid just if you can just stay in your room and drink warm things and lie down and keep warm.
Makes a big difference.
And just don't talk to anyone.
Don't talk to anybody.
Just be like.
Are you able to do that?
No.
That's what it is.
I'm very chatty. That's why I say stay in your room so you don't talk to anyone.
You're very chatty, which is good.
Yeah, I love chatting.
It comes out, you know, the good interpersonal skills that we have as well.
I did an interview not long ago, and someone's comment was, "Wow, Gemma can talk."
What do you think about it? Of course, you can talk.
Oh my gosh, too much. I talk too much. That's all good.
Beautiful. So, Gemma, tell me, how many languages do you speak?
So I started learning Shona obviously you learn it in school, but then I really think that I got quite comfortable sort of at the end of high school with my band.
Okay.
Because there were 4 boys and they were always chatting and laughing and joking and they were like my best friends.
Yeah.
And sometimes, they would often switch to Shona and I would lose them along the way.
Yeah,
So I was like, I need to know if they're talking about me.
Oh my God.
I just loved it. And I guess through church as well, singing in church and things like that. That's where my sort of love of Shona grew through. And I also speak French.
French as well?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's a little rusty. I haven't spoken it with anyone much in about 6 years. But yeah, I was fluent. And so hopefully
because I think a lot of people, when you start to sing your songs in Shona, people be like, oh, wow, is that Gemma? People be so surprised and like, and people love it.
Yeah, I really hope that it's, I hope if it's, maybe it shouldn't be abnormal.
Yeah.
If you grew up in Zimbabwe, you should speak the language.
Yeah, true. That is true.
Regardless of what race you are.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And I think it's something that people really, really need to think about and think, why don't I speak Shona?
Yeah.
I grew up in Harare my whole life. Why don't I speak Shona? And that's something that I really want to change, and that I hope is changing. That hopefully some little girls and boys are seeing Gem and thinking, Mom, like, please can I go learn Shona? Can you take me for lessons? Or really sort of making people think a little bit more. Because it shouldn't be normal, and I think that really is a part of, why I first, why people first were a bit like, who is this chick? And when McGarden came out and, I'm sure, a lot of the hype was also because I was white, and hopefully, hopefully this is going to change and is changing.
I know. And talking about in terms of language and everything else, we've got like in the diasporan community, we've got our children that are born in here, right? And they're born in here and most of them, they're taking their first languages as the English.
Yeah.
And as a community, we be it in the UK, be it in Australia, I think as a community we are struggling in terms of the children and the languages and picking up, our native language, Shona, Ndebele, all those. Is there some encouraging ways that you want to say to the community in there of the diaspora?
Yeah,
in terms of that?
I think, it was something we were just talking about just now. Often, we can grow up in a certain place and still be connected to another place and things like that. And I think culture is such a beautiful thing. And I think Zimbabwean culture is such a beautiful thing and something that you don't want to lose. But also to be kind on yourself. If you grow up somewhere and you feel very much connected to that place, like whoever you feel you are. I think, and the experience that you have had, no one can take that away from you.
No, nobody.
But I do think, it's always beautiful to be able to speak the language of your parents.
I think it's a good thing as well, because even if you look back, say, in America, you see these, our fellow brothers in there, they speak English, right? But if you look back in time, they came from Africa. From, was it Uganda, was it South Africa, was it, Zimbabwe? But you see, after those generations, they've lost that part of the language, and that really gets me a bit worried.
Oh, really?
Especially, on community. Not that I'm the best in that space, but really at the end of the day, I'm like, even for my children, I try to encourage that, here and there to make sure that, we make sure that they keep the language.
Amazing. Amazing.
So Masquera say.
And I
oh my God.
The one I love saying, it's so funny, on the first day I was chatting to Baba Shero, and he was like, "What and I was like, Bolato. And now every time they see me, they're just like, Bolato, Bolishas.
That's so good. As we are getting down to, wrapping up our discussion, there's one thing that I really want to talk about: inspiration.
Yes.
I believe personal growth in people is very, very important.
Absolutely.
People need to grow personally, professionally as well, with everything else. But people also get inspiration.
Yeah.
You don't just grow just like that.
No.
You're inspired by different things. Tell me, when in your musical career, what exactly inspired you to be growing? Because I can see your career is going with a high trajectory.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think as much as it's, I sort of get inspired by seeing other people's careers and how they've grown and things like that. To be honest, the main inspiration for me and the reason I started doing what I was doing when I was so young is music.
Oh.
You know, it's not a specific person. It's the feeling you get when you listen to a song. That always sort of pushes me, like, I want to make something that makes me feel like that.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, it's that. It's the timeless songs and those moments where it really heals you. You know, and you feel that, like, when you're hooked on a song and you play it 40 million times a day. That is what inspires me. It's the actual music itself, more so than anything else. And you know, it is like it's inspiring to see someone do well, and it's inspiring to see something you've made do well.
Absolutely.
But for me, it's that feeling when you're in the studio and you're just like, oh my gosh,
these things are happening.
This is it. You know, this is the song. That for me is everything. I think my idea of success would very much be making music that makes me feel like that.
Oh, lovely.
And hopefully makes other people feel like that. Because I also think once you release a song, as much as it's yours and it's your vulnerable self saying, like, this is my creation and I'm allowing you to judge it or do what you need to do with it, it becomes everyone else's, you know, because I'll get messages from people saying, you know, Titunga Medo was my mom's favorite song and she's passed on, and so now it's very special to me. These moments that, like, people connect with, very personal moments in their lives. So the music becomes everyone else's. So if you're making something that makes you feel a certain type of way, whether it's sad or happy or powerful, then you release it into the world and you allow that. It becomes whatever it needs to be for anyone else. You know?
Yeah, that is so true. Just to the viewers out there, Gemma, there are other people who actually, you know, are doing music and they want to grow as well.
Yeah.
Is there a word of inspiration that you want to give them?
My word of advice, I guess, would be on time.
Yeah.
Which Zimbabweans were not the best at. Yeah. We're always late. Be on time and just show up. You know, some of the biggest moments in my career wouldn't have happened if I hadn't been there to meet that person or to be in that space, you know. Just show up. Like, if you're in doubt and you're like, should I go, shouldn't I go? Just go. Because you never know what's going to happen in that moment. Yeah. But also be authentic, because there is always, like, there's only one person who can offer exactly what it is that you have, you know. And you don't have to be the artist for everyone. You don't have to be everything, but you can be yourself, and someone needs that, you know. Even if it's one person who just needs to hear that song that you're going to write, or that thing that you're going to say, you know. And you might never, there'll be so much that happens that you'll never know about.
Okay.
You know, in how you've connected with your audience, but just being real and be humble. My goodness.
Be humble.
Don't get a head on you. You don't need one. Just chill out. Just chill out, man. Just chill out. But yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Work hard and
that's great. That's great. So humility, she mentioned that. Amazing. Gemma, it was great having a chat with you.
Thank you, Admire.
And
I'll see you in Melbourne and Brisbane.
Brisbane are there. Beautiful. Catch you later. Tonana. I love that. Okay, cool. Thanks a lot, If you like this interview, please follow me on YouTube channel at MyTaiMyra, and also check us on the Facebook, Alpa Promotions. The tickets are still available. We've got Melbourne coming up on Friday. We do have another show coming up in Brisbane on Saturday. So just check out down there. The links for the tickets are just there, and you'll love it. Please, guys, come to the show. You'll love it. And there's going to be more content coming up, and just keep checking the YouTube channel. Thank you.